A nationwide general knowledge contest for the title Brain of Britain 2006. The chairman is Robert Robinson.
Hello again. In this, the fourth and last of our semi-finals, we have the highest scoring runners-up from the first round. And they are Stuart Walmsley, a lecturer now retired from London, Brian Clements, a maths lecturer also retired from Chelmsford, John Rose, a systems analyst from Hailsham, East Sussex, and Colin Bannerman, a railway manager now retired from Andover, Hampshire. I am assuming that everyone knows the rules. Let us begin. Mr. Walmsley's turn first. What name is given to a ring-shaped coral reef enclosing a lagoon?
An atoll.
You're right, sir. Which Eastern European dictator and his wife were deposed and executed around Christmas 1989?
Ceausescu.
Yes. What name was traditionally given to the apples, often windfalls, which were undersized or unsatisfactory in other ways, and so were made into rough cider?
Scrumpy.
Now you shall have it. That's the name of the cider they were made into. Scrumps is apparently the correct technical term, but you were close enough for Jawkins and certainly for me. Which Sanskrit word meaning great sage is an honorific title for a Hindu guru or spiritual teacher, probably most notably in the West as applied to Mahesh Yogi, the promoter of transcendental meditation?
Fakir.
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Maharishi.
Is quite right. Mr. Clement, it's your turn. Who wrote the novel Gone with the Wind?
Margaret Mitchell.
She did. Who wrote the poem Night Mail as verse commentary for a 1936 GPO film documentary?
W.H. Auden.
He did. He also wrote my school song, Forgive Me for Swanking, but he did.
Will you sing it?
Afterwards, perhaps. Harriet, considered the world's oldest animal in captivity, died in an Australian zoo in June this year at the age of 175. What sort of creature was she?
Tortoise?
Yes, a giant Galapagos tortoise, as you said, a tortoise, yes. Which Brazilian footballer this year broke the record for the greatest number of goals in the World Cup finals tournaments, taking that record to 15, achieved over 3 tournaments?
Ronaldinho.
No. No. Mr. Rose?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo is right. You got so close to it, Mr. Clements, I nearly gave it to you, but I'd been drummed out of the brownies. Jawkins tells me there is a player called what you said, Mr. Clements.
But he didn't score the goals.
That's the one. No. That's where you slipped up, I'm afraid.
That must be what I was thinking.
Mr. Rose, it's your turn. Which type of tall, narrow window with a steeply pointed arch is a noted feature of Gothic architecture, especially in its earlier phases?
Lancet window.
It is. This year saw the 90th anniversary of the Battle of the Somme, on which date, a disastrous day for the British Army, did the battle begin?
1st of July.
You're right. Of which famed group of singers was Alessandro Moreschi, who died in 1922, said to be the last?
Castrato?
Yes. On British roads, what would a blank white circular sign with a red border indicate?
No vehicles. No access to vehicles.
That's all right. I was just thinking there's a bracket that follows Jawkins' answer here, but if he thinks it's all right, it's all right. No vehicles except bicycles being pushed. And, you know, they had people hiding in the bushes to see if you don't get on the saddle and start pedalling. That would never do. Which Caribbean country's flag is called La Estrella Solitaria, referring to the single white star to be found in its triangular red hoist?
Cuba.
You're right. And 5 in a row. Excellent. Excellently well done. Mr. Bannerman, July this year saw the 70th anniversary of the outbreak of which conflict in Europe?
The Spanish Civil War.
Correct. Which controversial ex-Prime Minister of the Republic of Ireland died in June this year at the age of 80?
Jorge?
Yes. Funny word, that, controversial, doesn't it? It makes you think, was he crooked or wasn't he not? Well, he's gone now to his reward. A major new gallery of Islamic art, the Jameel Gallery, opened this year at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. Its centrepiece is the Arda Bill, purchased by the V&A in 1893. Thought to be one of the largest and oldest of its kind in the world, it's inspired many copies, supposedly to be found from 10 Downing Street to Hitler's office in Berlin. What is the Arda Bill?
I believe it's a carpet.
It is. The value of which type of energy is given by the basic equation 1/2 mv squared, where m is mass and v is velocity.
Kinetic energy?
Yes, you're right. Named after a 15th, 16th century Italian painter, which antipasto, or hors d'oeuvre, consists of very thin slices of raw meat or fish with various accompaniments?
Raphael?
No? The others look rather blank? No? Then I must tell you, carpaccio. And very good it is, always tender, unlike other cuts of meat, reminding one of W.C. Fields saying in a restaurant, "I didn't say the meat was tough. I only wondered what had happened to the old horse who used to stand outside." Now, at the end of that round, the scores are 3 to Mr. Walmsley, 3 to Mr. Clements, 5 to Mr. Bannerman, and 7 to Mr. Rose. Mr. Walmsley, which cloud formation giving thunderstorms and showers is abbreviated to CB?
Cumulus nimbus.
Yes, well, or cumulonimbus, but you got it nearly there. We now hear part of a waltz by Johann Strauss II, one which originally formed part of an 1880 operetta called The Queen's Lace Handkerchief, and was in fact one of several tunes from that source, considered good enough to become concert pieces. An arrangement of it was the signature tune of the BBC radio light music programme Grand Hotel for many years. What is the waltz called?
Skater's waltz.
No. Mr. Clements?
Voices from the South.
No. I'll tell you why I giggle slightly afterwards. No, you shake your head very solemnly, Mr. Rose. Mr. Bannerman, look thoughtful, but you shake your head again. Roses from the South. That's why I giggled a bit. I thought you got it right. You nearly did.
Yes.
Still, no consolation really, is it,
No,
Mr.
no.
Clements? No. Your turn, though. For what do the letters RA stand in the title of the UK government department, normally referred to by its acronym DEFRA?
Rural Affairs.
You're right. The Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, and they left out Beachcomber's famous Ministry of Bubble Blowing. That's the only one they left out there. I'll ask you another question. The fabled Central Asian cities of Samarkand, Tashkent and Bukhara are in which modern-day country? Out of time. Mr. Rose?
Uzbekistan.
Quite right. Uzbekistan is right. It's your turn. The senior diplomat of one Commonwealth country to another does not hold the title of ambassador. What two-word title does he or she hold?
High Commissioner.
Yes. Which Roman historian, who died in 17 AD during the reign of Tiberius, wrote a massive history of Rome in some 142 volumes, of which only 35 are believed to survive in full?
Herodotus.
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Livy.
Livy is quite right. Another damn thick book, eh, Mr. Livy, as George III would no doubt have commented. Mr. Bannerman, it's your turn. Sentinel Dome, El Capitan, Mono Lake, the Bridal Veil Falls, and the falls after which it is named, are all features of which Californian national park?
Yellowstone.
No. Mr. Clements?
Yosemite.
Correct. And that's the end of that round. Let me see how the numbers have altered. We have 4 for Mr. Walmsley, 5 for Mr. Clements, 6 for Mr. Bannerman, 9 for Mr. Rose. Mr. Walmsley, invented around 1500 by a craftsman called Peter Henlein, and the origin of the name is still a matter of dispute. What sort of objects exactly were Nuremberg eggs? Don't know? Come on, have a guess. What might it... Yes, Mr. Rose.
Diamonds?
No. Mr. Bannerman.
Jewel boxes?
No.
Typefaces?
No, they weren't typefaces. They were early pocket watches. That's what they were. It's your turn, Mr. Clements. John Buchan wrote a 1925 book set in the Scottish Highlands called John McNab, and the character, or at least the premise, was revived over 70 years later in The Return of John McNab by Andrew Grieg. In the original story, John McNab was a pseudonym used collectively by three friends. What is John McNab's supposed occupation?
A surveyor.
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Poacher?
A poacher is quite right. Well done. Now, Mr. Rose's turn. The title Ancient of Days as a synonym for God has been used in Christian worship, hymns and art, being, for example, the title of a well-known picture by William Blake in the British Museum, as well as in the Jewish Kabbalah tradition. From the book of which Old Testament prophet does the title come?
Isaiah?
No. Plenty of scope for grabbing one out of the air. Mr. Clements?
Ezekiel.
No. Mr. Walmsley?
Jeremiah?
No. All good names. Mr. Bannerman, don't be left out.
Malachi?
No. Daniel is the answer. And it's now your turn, Mr. Bannerman. The statesman Leopold Sédar Senghor was also a well-known poet and one of the founders of a cultural movement called Negritude, promoting French-speaking African culture. Of which country was he the president for more than 20 years, from before independence until 1980?
Algeria?
No. Mr. Clements?
Senegal.
Senegal's quite right. Well done. The scores are now 4 to Mr. Walmsley, 6 to Mr. Clements, 7 to Mr. Bannerman, and 9 to Mr. Rose. And now one of our listeners hopes to floor all 4 of our contestants as they confer with each other. Here is the first of 2 questions sent in by Mrs. Monica Nichols from Grantham. Which famous author wrote a play in the 1970s called The End of Me Old Cigar?
No, okay.
Famous author in the 70s.
So this is an author who isn't normally a playwright, right?
Yes.
Or is it something like John Mortimer, possibly?
Good as any.
But any alternatives?
Michael Frayn.
It's not impossible. It's only a playwright there.
No, he's a playwright there, isn't he? Yes.
Have a try.
John Mortimer?
No, it was John Osborne. Now, the second question from Mrs. Monica Nichols is this. Who, around 1890, wrote a book called My Lady Nicotine? Consult one with another.
1890.
Well-known smoker.
Something like Oscar Wilde, possibly.
This could be him.
Conan
Doyle.
Yes.
Doyle's
Sounds quite good.
used to be
Conan Doyle, right?
Yes, try.
Conan Doyle?
No, it was J.M. Barrie. So, Mrs. Monica Nichols had you on the run there. She won hands down. She gets a book token and a round of applause. We begin again with Mr. Walmsley. With what is the organisation Xinhua, I'll spell it for you, Xinhua, based in Beijing, concerned? What does it do?
No idea.
No, you can't. Won't you have a guess? Xinhua. It might be anything. Might be milk bars or anything. Mr. Rose?
The Chinese language?
No. But it could have been. Mr. Bannerman?
Try broadcasting.
No. Mr. Clements, don't be the only one not to reply.
Pottery.
No, it's the principal national Chinese news agency. That's what it is. Mr. Clements, which billionaire investor announced what is believed to be the largest charitable donation in United States history this year when he pledged some $37 billion, most of it to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation?
I believe his name was Buford.
No. The others, Mr. Bannerman?
It's not Bill Gates himself, is it?
No, he already contributed about as much, you know. All right, I must tell you, very nearly, Mr. Clements, Warren Buffett. But you didn't quite get it. Mr. Rose, the Hallgrimskirche, a controversial 220 feet high church designed to resemble a mountainous landscape, was completed 20 years ago after nearly 50 years of building. It dominates the skyline of which European capital city?
Prague?
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Copenhagen?
No. Mr. Walmsley?
Berlin?
No. Now, Mr. Clements.
Stockholm.
No, I deceived you all with my faultless pronunciation. Hallgrimskirche. Reykjavik is the answer. So all those places, well, sound a bit like Reykjavik, but aren't. And in Reykjavik, it said, the smell of fish is strong. And the citizens say, ah, the money smell. Quite right, too. Mr. Bannerman, which chess piece is known in German as the Springer or Jumper?
The Knight?
It is. At the time of his death in 1967, Joe Orton was working on a play which was eventually premiered in 1969 following the abolition of the Lord Chamberlain's office and stage censorship. What is the play called?
What the Butler Saw?
Correct, sir. Well done. What the Butler Saw. And your turn again. Months in the Western calendar system are sometimes associated with particular flowers in the same way as gemstones. Which month is associated with both hawthorn and lily of the valley?
With Hawthorne, you'd have to guess May.
Of course, May is quite right. Next year will see the 400th anniversary of the first permanent English settlement in what is now the United States in Virginia. What was the settlement called?
Jamestown?
It was. This year's Cannes Film Festival witnessed a very unusual occurrence in relation to the awards for both Best Actor and Best Actress. Can you say what happened?
They were in the same film? To do with the same film?
No. The others look... Ah, Mr. Rose.
Were they married, husband and wife?
No. No idea, Mr. Walmsley, Mr. Clements?
Did they each refuse the award?
No. I must tell you, the awards were not given to individuals, but to the male cast of one film, Indigène for Best Actor, and the female cast of another, Voltaire, for Best Actress. That's what happened. And at the end of that round, let's see how the scores are. 4 for Mr. Walmsley, 6 for Mr. Clements, 9 for Mr. Rose, 11 for Mr. Bannerman. Mr. Walmsley, Sigiriya is a huge granite rock formation rising sheer from a flat landscape of jungles and plains and is visible for hundreds of miles. Its summit contains the ruins of an ancient royal settlement designed to impress by its height and remoteness. Where in Asia is Sigiriya?
Cambodia?
No. Oh, pick a place, chaps. Mr. Rose?
India?
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Sri Lanka?
Exactly, Sri Lanka. You look as though you did that somewhat at a venture, Mr. Bannerman, but you were successful. It's now your turn, Mr. Clements. In which field of the arts was the 16th century Frenchman Bernard Palissy a famous name, his work still being highly sought after?
Jewellery.
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Was he a silversmith?
No. Mr. Rose?
Woodcarver?
No. Try one, Mr. Walmsley.
Tapestry?
No. Pottery is the answer. Called Palissy ware. Your turn, Mr. Rose. To which writer is the remark about plotting attributed? When in doubt, have a man come through the door with a gun in his hand?
Agatha Christie.
No. Mr. Clements.
Raymond Chandler.
Yes, Raymond Chandler. And I think his plots are so tangled, I find I can read the same book over and over again. And there, it's Mr. Bannerman's turn. The composer and co-lyricist of the musical, from which we now hear an excerpt, died this year at the age of 76. This was by far his most successful work, and one of his earliest, written when he was in his early 20s, although he continued working throughout his life. It was for a time the longest-running work in British musical theatre, until overtaken by Oliver. The title comes from a line in Antony and Cleopatra. What is the musical called? And what is the musical called?
Salad Days?
Yes, Salad Days, well done. The composer, as you may remember, was Julian Slade, who co-wrote the lyrics with Dorothy Reynolds. Performing Oh, Look at Me there were John Warner and Eleanor Drew. Of which hero in Greek mythology was Danae, impregnated by Zeus in the form of a shower of gold, the mother?
Perseus.
Yes. Euronext, involved in takeover battles this year, is a European stock exchange formed in 2000 by the amalgamation of the Paris Bourse with those of two other capital cities. Can you name one of those cities?
Madrid.
No. Mr. Walmsley?
Frankfurt.
No. Mr. Clements?
Brussels.
Brussels is quite right. Amsterdam being the other one. And that brings us to the end of the round. And the scores now. We have 4 for Mr. Walmsley, 8 for Mr. Clements, 9 for Mr. Rose, 14 for Mr. Bannerman. We start our final round with Mr. Walmsley. His question is this. Myopia is, of course, the technical term for short-sightedness, and that for long-sightedness is hypermetropia or hyperopia. What is emetropia?
Stigmatism.
No. Mr. Bannerman?
Middle sight, balanced sight.
No. Mr. Rose?
Tunnel vision.
No. Mr. Clements, have a go.
Inability to focus.
No, it is perfect vision. That is the answer. Mr. Clements, Dol Icothi, I think I pronounce it correctly, in Wales, was the site of mining activity in Roman times. It's the only known Roman site in the UK for the mining of what? Out of time. Mr. Walmsley?
Gold.
Yes, sir. Gold is the answer. Mr. Rose, 3 neighbouring wildlife sanctuaries, 2 of them in Tanzania and the other across the border in Kenya, have sometimes been said to host the greatest and most varied wildlife populations on Earth. The Tanzanian pair are the Serengeti National Park and the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. What is the name of the Kenyan Game Reserve, the smallest of the 3 in area?
The Masai Mara.
Yes, you're right. The Royal Shakespeare Company is billing the year from April 2006 to April 2007 as the biggest festival in its history. Why is this?
Celebrating the 400th anniversary of the Globe.
No. Mr. Walmsley?
Performing all the plays of Shakespeare.
Well done, sir. That's what they're doing. Mr. Bannerman, Finland currently holds the presidency of the Council of the European Union. Can you name either of the countries who will hold the position in 2007? Apparently it's held 6 monthly, so each has it for 6 months.
Ireland.
No. Mr. Walmsley?
Greece.
No. Pick one.
The Czech
Mr.
Republic.
Rose?
Sweden.
Sorry.
No. Now Mr. Clements?
The Czech Republic.
No. Germany, and the other one is Portugal. And that brings us to the end of our competition on this occasion. Our final semi-final, if that's what you can have. And the final scores are 6 to Mr. Walmsley, 8 to Mr. Clements, 10 to Mr. Rose, 14 to Mr. Bannerman. So there we have our winner, who goes forward to the final. It's Mr. Bannerman. And next week, of course, we then have the final. Until then, I bid you goodbye.
The chairman of Brain of Britain was Robert Robinson, and the questions were set by Kevin Ashman. The programme was devised by John P. Wynne, and the producer was Richard Edis.